Well, hello everybody. Major. Russia releases the entire program. Excuse me. I caught a head cold at the legislature there, and I'm dealing with that. But sorry. So Russia just presented its entire program, and my phone call with the Russian permanent representative office in New York this morning turns out to be absolutely correct. More than that, the work and presentation for all those who watched my question live on Treaty Indians, numbered Treaty Indians, specifically here in Canada, in relation to Colombia's Constitutional Court Chief Justice, the equivalent of the Supreme Court of Canada, Chief Justice Wagner. I presented a question to the Chief Justice of Colombia. I did that live in Texas on behalf of all Treaty Indians. How do they get to where Colombia is constitutionally today? How do they get away from the Indian Act? Well, folks, looks like I get to present Scott Moe and the Saskatchewan First Act that promises to destroy the Treaty Indians in Canada, starting with Saskatchewan. Now, Danielle Smith was going to do it. She chickened out, which is a good thing. She didn't do the Alberta Act. She held that back. Still doesn't want to do constitutional conventions for and by all the people, all the Treaty Indians, all the Métis, all the Inuit, and all Albertans. You can do at least a massive portion of all provincial crown land, all resources, all water rights. The list goes on and on and on. Russia released much to the public for all those in the West. They said, listen, we have a federalism. We have a division of powers, and they most certainly have a constitution that binds international law. That's the truth, whether people want to believe that or not. Ukraine was made an ass out of. They tried to do the propaganda. They got shut down. USA's not hearing it either. The destruction that's going on right now on Russia is now happening to USA too. USA is taking the full blunt of all the colored world. And folks, that is a massive majority. We look at BRICS and the nations coming forward. When you take Southeast Asia, when you take India, China, Russia, and so many others, folks, it's a colonial world left to America. What good is that going to be? It's not going to be good. But I can tell you this, I will be delivering Scott Moe, Premier of Saskatchewan, and his bullshit, his serious and atrocious human rights violations that are now today, not by Russia called out, not by USA called out, but they're both going, holy, and they're stepping back. They're calling it Israeli apartheid. Israeli apartheid. Israel's getting nailed to the wall. I published to all of you, I met the entire legal delegation, the greatest legal minds of Israel. I spent the whole week with them. I went out with them every night during my Texas run. We found a lot of symmetry. They're scared. They're scared where their country is going. How do they get there? There's so much they don't know, so much they do, and so much they taught me, and so much they learned too. But Colombia, and this spot for Russia, I'm going to highlight the evil of Canada and Canada's crown. It's going to be done after Easter long weekend, a Catholic holiday. I'm no longer Catholic. I walked away from the Catholic Church, but I still value the importance of Jesus's death and resurrection. It's important to me. It's a great story, his life, and the idea of forgiveness. Russia celebrates that too. Says, look, we're going to hang on. Come back Tuesday. This is what we're doing. And it's open debate. And if you haven't seen it, go look at my question for all the numbered Treaty Indians in Canada, the ones I promised absolutely in 2019. I kept my word for all the First Peoples, and it's absolutely for all Canadians. And we're going to see what's going to happen come the 14th and 15th in open debate and in the Columbia presentation. I also have the contact of basically the Chief Justice of Columbia. She met me. For those of you who didn't see it, I recorded it. I asked a question. If you haven't seen that plenary, I'm up there. We spoke in great detail. I sacrificed my pictures just to spend 10 minutes of time with her. 10 minutes that's going to mean the world of difference on the world stage come the 14th and 15th, right after Easter. Isn't that something? It's amazing whether people want to believe it or not. For those who are following me diligently, you know it's all true. What happened on the weekend at the legislature with that Professor Harjit coming from the UNSC and the Sikhs seeking independence, sovereignty, self-government, and their narrative and all the abuses they're going through, that Canada turned their back on and in fact said, no, we don't support you, we support the Crown. We will destroy you. And then we have lying MPs who say, oh no, I was there, I support it all. No, folks, it was only me there. Party of the Canadian Constitutionalists. I handed out flyers to each and every one of the participants, and there certainly was no Conservative MP, no Liberal MP, no NDP MP anywhere to be found. It was only me. And I know all the freedom fighters and those who've signed on to the party more than a year ago that were all there to witness, know the truth. The media can lie, the Conservatives can lie, the Liberals can lie, and the NDP can lie. But that group knows the truth. The world knows the truth. And time again, I'm going to be there all around Canada to deliver blows, seemingly impossible blows, to the established Crown. And people say, how is this possible? Just like how is it possible what's going to become of Scott Moe and the Saskatchewan Party post-Easter. Very ironic. It should be very spiritual for all Canadians. And I hope First Peoples that have stayed so close with this and followed so intently along, I hope that you've kept your faith, because we are winning. And I told you, all this year, you're going to see over and over and over again, like South Africa and many more. It's forever and a day, constant battle. You pick your stage, you pick your time, you pick your presentation. I know what I'm doing. I understand their world and this world order system we're in. If anyone was watching today, you heard from Russia. We're not going anywhere. And clearly, nobody's going to do anything about it, because at the end of the day, Russia's not threatening nuclear war. But if you cross that line, if you think you're going to make a new world order or revert back to a colonial old world order, then we'll see. We'll see what Russia's going to do. But they say we sleep very well at night. We don't have nightmares of nuclear because they adhere to international law. And even USA Today backed it up, saying, no, Russia has been honorable in all their presidencies since the war. And all USA asked is, please continue to do that. Europe is slamming them. The Crown colonials are slamming them. But the world is gravitating to Russia. And I think people need to look at that. USA, it's a war on USA. It's USA's dollar that's under threat. Not the euro, not so many other Crown colonials. It's USA. And that's no accident. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. For every attack on Russia, there's an attack on USA. People don't see it. But those of us who've taken the time to learn the international system, we see it and we know it. That's my video. I hope America wakes up. I hope Joe Biden is forced to change narrative. We heard from American media, all the leftist medias, all of them. They had a different attitude entirely today. I think we all saw that. Respectful. Oh, what about this? What about that? They're learning. They're learning what they're being told and what the rest of the world's doing and where USA finds itself. are two different things. If you didn't look at the General Assembly today, USA's in a lot of trouble. And I think they know it. And it's only USA who's in trouble. You don't see it with the rest of the colonials. It's USA. This attack on Russia is also turning out to be an attack on USA. For the highlights they do to Russia, they're highlighting USA. USA's taking all the flack. I think USA's going, something stinks here. Wait a minute. Something's dead wrong. You know that person where people all around, a big group of people, convince them, you fight, you do this, you do that. And then they're left holding the bag and everyone sits back and laughs. And they're not the ones getting beat up. USA is. I think America's starting to wake up. That's my video. Share. This middle month is going to be exciting. I get to enjoy Easter. I won't be home for it. It looks like I'll be working, but I'll be leaving, I believe, Thursday morning. I have drug tests, blood tests, and much more to do. But that's the way she goes, and I want to make a lot of money. I want to get ready for World Constitution Day right here in Alberta. We're going to go through that. We're going to find out the tale of the tape come June 1st. And there's so much to share, so much for all Canadians, all First Peoples, but it's exciting. It's exciting to be a part of it, to be able to have a little piece, a little person from a far-off land, a nobody, and all of a sudden you're something, or you're achieving something that nobody else has ever done. It's sad I could never talk to a single justice in the Canadian system. It's sad that none of the Crown appointments would even give me, a lowly third-class piece of shit, basically, the shit on the bottom of their boots, the time of day. But for the most of the rest of the world, I certainly did get the stage. I certainly do get the time. And we're going to see middle of the month. Thanks, everybody. Share. Exciting. And again, excuse my head cold. I should have worn a jacket. It's Alberta. You come back for it. It was a bad choice to go in a t-shirt to the ledge, but I don't regret anything except for maybe I should have worn my jacket, but I'll get through it. Love you all. Bye now.